So like I used to do deals with God. It encourages us to move and then receiving direction when we do, which goes to show your environment can greatly impact your mind. Hi everyone, Ochiko Era here. So today I'm going to be speaking about how I went from a shoemaker to a marketing professional. But I'm going to start this with a story. One of my favorite verses of the Bible is this passage that says that there will be a voice telling you, this is the way, walk in it when you go left or right. Now, I would not say I've always been a serious Christian or known the voice of the Holy Spirit or any of these things. But even before then, I've always known that God had a plan for my life because I always believed in God. And to a very great extent, we had a transactional relationship. That is, I've always been a FICO. I've always liked books and my academics was like super important to me. So like I used to do deals with God. Some may not have flown and perhaps that was just his love and his mercy, while some worked out fine. But post uni, that was my gap year, 2017, I decided to learn shoemaking. Not because I wanted to become a shoemaker, I just really loved shoes, as I still do now. And I wanted to understand the process and I wanted to appreciate it even more. And I just believe that knowing how they were made would, help make that happen. So the shoemaking situation happened, and fashion was, people know me now as a super stylish person, and that has not always been the case, or the case on a large scale. I grew up fashion wise just feeling my feelings as I do now, and whilst I did not really understand what it was then, how I chose to dress the way I chose to dress and always standing my ground, I had my tomboy phase, my big clothes phase, a lot of things, and of course how I dressed in those times a reflection of my mental. It was not a stylish thing then, and I did not consider myself stylish either. But not to backtrack or not to go off point too much, I love that particular Bible passage because it encourages us to move and then receiving direction when we do. This is to say that there are times where we would not always hear God telling us the first step, like verbatim, like I hear him clearly, like, okay, go this way. We actually have to be the ones to make the first move. And then there's this other Bible passage that says, commit your plans to the Lord and he will establish your steps. These are two Bible passages that I hold very dear to my heart in terms of my goals and just, making things happen for me. So how did my journey from a shoemaker now find its way to a marketing professional? Oh boy, that is a very long story, and I'm going to break it into different videos. So let's just say this video is the beginning. So shoemaking, I already told you what made me get into it. And then I started fashion styling properly in 2020. Yes. When I was in part 2 at the time and I wanted to start, speaking about things I was passionate about. I can remember my very first shoot was with a very good friend of mine, and he was a photographer, and it was basically to talk about what the Uyghur Muslims were going through at the time. I called it the Skengi Javi, which is quite crazy. And I borrowed a purple niqab, a purple kimar from a friend of mine who was obviously a hijabi, and the purple was to signify royalty, and just like a host of other little details that I put together, basically to represent the Uyghur Muslims and also bring some form of exposure to what was happening to them in China. So that was where fashion styling as an art form, the means of expression started for me, where the marketing come into play. I've always known I was going to go into the business of fashion. I just did not know how, because then what I just knew as business of fashion was just like business owners, products, you have a shop, you sell things. I've always known I would never sell something like sit down in a shop. I hated it so much, and that is because of a childhood situation. My mother had, or she still has, like businesses, and I was expected to stay in one or some of these businesses from time to time. Of course, like this impacted my business sense, but it also made me know that I hated staying in one place, and just the thought of sitting in a shop was not for me. It was not new shirt, you guys, because we had like a short break. But yes, as I was saying, whilst it impacted my business sense, I basically just thought like business in fashion or corporate in fashion just had to revolve around me owning something, which was a series of businesses. My mind had not even opened up to the idea of a company, which goes to show your environment can greatly impact your mind. But that's like a whole other conversation, right? But then when I started my fashion styling journey and learning about fashion, jobs in the industry, JDs, what these things actually equated, and then asking myself a question and going on to try to see if maybe it will work out, which is, do I want my fashion styling to become something that I would earn a living out of? Which I've come to the conclusion of no. It led me to where it is that I am now. Okay, so this is where I'm going to stop for now. If you haven't, please do well to subscribe, like if this video resonated with you, share with your network, and of course, drop a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts on basically anything. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.